All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash. Giving double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Peace and salutations to the Akim, the brethren out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth in 100% sincerity. And peace and salutations to the few and sisters who believe in this gospel. So, I want to entitle this lesson, "We were put in captivity because of spiritual adultery." And just reading through Jeremiah, I just started reading through the book of Jeremiah from the beginning. And it talks a lot about the nation of Israel going off and serving other gods, and why the Heavenly Father is punishing them for serving other gods, right? And, one of the things that just reading through it, it kind of inspired me, and I kind of thought like, yeah, this is why, these are the exact reasons why the Lord put us in punishment. The Lord put us in captivity because we continually went off, right? Northern and Southern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom was cast out first. And then after that, the Southern Kingdom was cast out of the land, right? So let me go ahead and start here. Jeremiah 2 and verse 13. And it says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns, that can hold no water. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled?" Right? And if we go back to the curses of Deuteronomy 28, we understand that, if we disobeyed the commandments of the Heavenly Father and we forsook the covenant, that we would be a spoiled and oppressed people, right? And actually, let's go ahead and look at this word spoiled. I was going to give a definition, but let's go ahead and look at it in Hebrew, right? And it says spoil, booty, robbery, spoiling, right? And, basically spoil, one example in Deuteronomy 21, the spoil of women, right? Where where the Israelites will conquer a nation and, slay the men, and they would take the women. The women are considered spoiled, right? The cattle and the gold and the jewelry and all of the things that were valuable at that time, they're considered spoiled, right? Same way, for example, here in Babylon the Great, right? We're a spoiled nation because we've been conquered, right? And at one point in time, yeah, they did physically take our women. Now, for the most part, they have our women mentally and spiritually. All of our resources, everything that we basically come up with is basically taken from us. Just looking at the, so-called prosperous black communities, right? Like Tulsa, Rosewood, etc., etc. For the Northern Kingdom, you got, the Indian reservations where at one point, they were the rulers of this land here in what is now Babylon the Great, right? Even with the so-called Hispanics, those of the Northern Kingdom, right? They're a spoiled people as well, right? They embrace the Spanish language. They were, Esau the Spaniards came over here and conquered them. It's lucky. Conquered them in the Caribbean, So, we're a spoiled people, right? But we're spoiled because of what? Because we've continually went against Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and we've gone against him and forsook his word and did not hearken to the word of the Lord, right? Let's go to verse 20. And it says, "For of old time I have broken thy yoke and burst thy bands, and thou sayest, I will not transgress. When upon every high hill and under every green tree thou wanderest playing the harlot." What is a harlot? A harlot is a whore. Let's go here and look up this word harlot. It says to commit fornication, be a harlot, play the harlot. To be a harlot, act as a harlot, commit fornication, to commit adultery, to be a cult prostitute, to be unfaithful to the Heavenly Father, right? So you got a couple definitions. You got an actual harlot where a woman is running around in them streets, and then you got a spiritual harlot, which the nation of Israel has been a spiritual harlot. We've committed fornication against the Heavenly Father, right? Verse 21, it says, "Yet I have planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" Right? And if we look at the nation of Israel, without the law, and without the faith in Yahweh Shai, and not taking heed to the words of the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son, Israel in its current state, the nation of Yasha'Allah, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are in a degenerate state, right? You can just look at niggas today, Northern and Southern Kingdom, and you can see the things that they do, they talk about, they engage in, the way that they think, the actions that they portray. This is a degenerate people, right? Let's look at this word degenerate. It just says degenerate. Here. Let's go. Actually, let's go to etymology online, and figure out what this word degenerate is or means. It says, having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race or kind, right? To be inferior to one's ancestors, to become unlike one's race or kind, fall from ancestral quality, used of physical as well as moral qualities, right? And going down here, of things unworthy, debased, having fallen in quality or passed to an inferior state, right? One who has degenerated, right? So as a people, we have degenerated into hyper degeneracy. I just made that up, but that's kind of what that's kind of what our people are. Our people are hyper degenerates, right? You can just look on social media and look online. Now, social media ain't always a gauge of how people think, but in a lot of cases, it is. The women get online, they express, they express their harlotries, their whoredoms online. How much they don't respect men. They glorify, really, they glorified degeneracy, man. Just look at Sexy Red. Look at these women rappers now, man. All of these women rappers are now just coming out, and they're just talking about, getting the dude to trick on them, using the dude for money, slutting herself out, selling herself. What are the dudes talking about in the music? Selling drugs, committing adultery, that Chris Brown thing, dissing Quavo or whatever. One of the main things that he is boasting about is him smashing whoever was Quavo's woman at the time, right? That's a degenerate. For us, for our people, that is degeneracy, because it was one of our customs that we're not to commit adultery. That's one of our laws, right? That's one of our customs and laws for our women to not be whores and to be harlots, right? That, a woman is only supposed to have one husband, right? We're not supposed to murder. We're not supposed to be murderers. We're not supposed to, extort our brother. We're supposed to love our brother, right? But in this society, in this modern day and age, what do you see Jake doing? Jake is doing the complete opposite. This Jake has become that degenerate vine unto the Heavenly Father, right? So let's keep going. Verse 22, for though thou wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord Yahweh. How canst thou say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley. Know what thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary traversing in her ways. Let's look up dromedary. A young female camel, young dromedary, right? And I could probably, that would probably be a good lesson to go into. Why did the scriptures call Israel a dromedary, a young dromedary, which is a young female camel, right? It must be something about that. I have to figure that out, right? Verse 24, a wild ass used to the wilderness that snuffeth up the wind at her pleasure. In her occasion, who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her month they shall find her, right? So let's go here. Jeremiah 3 and verse 1, it says, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers. Yet return again to me, saith the Lord. Right? So, for example, any right, upstanding man who is in his right mind, right? If your woman goes off, if your woman leaves you, she goes off and sleeps with another man and then tries to come back with you. Most men in their right mind, who are able to get another woman, of course, are not going to take her back, right? And even if they do take her back, it's never going to be what it once was. Because she's polluted. She's got the spirit of another man on her. She's got the spirit of other men on her, right? And that's the same way with the nation of Israel. We've polluted ourselves with other gods. We've polluted ourselves worshiping other gods, going off and forsaken the covenant of the Lord, right? Forsaking the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. We polluted ourselves and going off and to do whatever the hell we wanted to do, right? But Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah is telling us to return, to come back, return unto him, right? And there's going to be a remnant that is returning to the Lord, right? But that remnant is the elect, right? So there is going to be a remnant that does return to the Lord, right? And eventually all of the nation of Israel is going to be turned back to the Heavenly Father, because the Lord is, as we're about to see here in the 14th verse. Yep. Jeremiah 3 verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you. And I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding, right? So, the Lord is telling his people, his children, the nation of Israel, to turn back. Turn back from your ways. Turn back from committing that spiritual adultery, right? Turn back from spiritual whoredoms and things of that nature. Turn back from worshiping other gods, right? And the Lord has selected men, the prophets, in this time to feed his sheep with what? With knowledge and understanding. This is what Yahweh Shah was talking about when he told Peter, if you love me, feed my sheep. Well, feed the sheep with what? Feed the sheep with this word, with the living water, with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, right? And the Lord has given us pastors according to his heart, which are the men of the Lord, the prophets, right? To teach his people and to prophesy and to warn them and to sift out, to help, to do their part in the Lord sifting out the elect from the nation of Israel, right? Which is what we're sent to do, to preach this word via being on the highways and byways, via doing the videos and things like that, to sift the elect out of the nation of Israel, right? And that's what's going to get us into the kingdom, is preaching his word and prophesying and wait until the prophecies play out, right? So, yeah, that's all I got on this lesson today. Lord willing, this was edifying and straight to the point. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rahakwadash. And until next time, Shalom.